Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Mental Magic here on the Living Theosophy channel, inspired by the enthusiasm that you are showing still 6 years later, 7 years later, after the 14 lessons in yogi philosophy and Oriental occultism was uploaded on this channel, which was an introductory, elementary explanation of the Theosophical teachings. So seeing your enthusiasm for the psychic influence, all of these episodes that talk about the powers latent in humanity, which is actually the third objective in Theosophy, which is to investigate the hidden laws of nature and the powers and abilities latent in mankind. You are far more than the five physical senses. We are all far more than that. And there are abilities that we have to create the world that we desire, and not just selfish desires, not just for us, these transitory things like money or relationships or a car or a house or a job. There's more to that. You can do those things, and it's a very real law. You know it as the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the secret. And so I'm basing this series on this book, which is by William Walker Atkinson, which by his own admission, he says is his most important work. So we're going to explore that together. And I'm going to share with you my experience, because that's all I do here. I'm simply a student of these ancient teachings. And I'm going to share with you my experience and my understandings, and we can do this together. There is a free copy of this book in the description down below. It is called The Secret of Mental Magic, and it was written at the turn of the last century, so it's about 120 years old, but these teachings are timeless. They go all the way back through the beginning of mankind, and they have been used and they are being used right now. You are using them right now, and your life is a reflection of your previous thoughts and emotions. To some, that may sound strange, but surely you've seen so many people come on and talk about this, and it is very real. So let's improve our lives. And after we do that, let's get to work in improving the lives of all beings here on earth. Just imagine what we can do together. So The Secret of Mental Magic, down below, I do want to explain that this was written at a time that there might be, well, some words of the time period in there. So the word race, when you hear the word race mentioned, that simply means a wave of humanity. That's it. It does not mean ethnicity. And so I wanted to explain that. So let's get to work. What I was thinking is I thought I might read the book to you and then share some of these experiences and techniques. Or I could just share the experiences and techniques and allow you to read the book in your own time, and I will quote from it. I think that might be best. But Atkinson writes here, he says, "Inasmuch as this law is in constant operation and all are subject to its influence and effect, does it not become the duty of intelligent people to acquaint themselves with this mighty force or law? Does it not? In order that they may understand its workings and take advantage of its benefits and protect themselves against its misuse." And again, it is being misused. It is being used. You are now experiencing today the effects, the effects of the causes of your previous thoughts and emotions and intent and will. It's an absolute fact. So let's get into this law of attraction, law of assumption. It's been covered by many throughout the millennia. Many of the spiritual texts, you will see it in there in allegory and parable. So anyway, let's get to it. So what I wanted to share with you is mainly you want to come in here for techniques. So I was going to share with you a little bit of my experience in this law playing itself out in my life. We talked about the house, my crush with Jer that manifested into a marriage proposal, and all that. So it's a very real thing. So I think it's really, I always find it inspiring when people share their success stories, but these are success stories when I didn't realize this was the law in effect. In 2009, I was getting ready to move over here to the United Kingdom from the US to marry. And I had everything planned, but I was a lot of it ignorant in knowing all that I needed to have done. I didn't realize that to get a passport for a move was a very big deal, but I had sent the passport off to the British embassy and booked the flight and all that. That was no big deal. That was just like getting a regular, interstate kind of a travel thing, not a big deal. But this is an international move. So I'd sent the passport off. I had 2 days before my flight and to move. The whole house was closing down and all that. and I still hadn't had the passport back. And I thought, but I was moving. I was moving to the UK. That was my intention. But no passport, and you can't go without a passport. So anyway, I thought, well, I called my fiance and I said, I don't understand what's going on. And he said, well, you need to figure this out. You can't come over here without it. And I thought, well, I know that. So I thought, well, I will just go down to the passport office in Los Angeles. So I went down to the British Embassy, just got in the car and drove from Bakersfield to Los Angeles in this huge building. I show up, it's a massive building, and they had this huge entry area, this office with this desk, and there was this big atrium and all that. There was no one in there except this one person behind the desk. It almost looked like a movie set. So I walk in and I'm thinking, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon by the time I got there, and they were closing. And I walked up to the man and I said, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I just need to check on my passport. And he kind of laughed a little bit and he went, well, when did you mail it in? And I said, like 6 weeks ago. And he's like, well, okay, well, we can look and stuff, but I'll just run it through the computer. So he ran it through the computer, and it came back with it had been refused because there wasn't the proper paperwork on it. And I said, well, what does that mean? He says, well, in the next few weeks, you should get it back and you'll have to reapply. But if it's been refused, many times there is a 10-year hold on it and you can't apply again in 10 years. And I thought, oh my God. And I said, well, I don't understand. What am I going to do? And he says, well, you should have gone through a passport agency. And I can give you the number of a guy. And his name is, I can't remember his name. I want to say Ray. But anyway, I was like, and I started to panic, and I'm thinking 10 years. I quit my job and I was moving. It was a big deal. So anyway, he gave me the name of this. It was All Star Passports in Los Angeles. And anyway, I was just absolutely devastated. I was watching the clock go up to 5 o'clock. And I had the name of this man. And anyway, I didn't know what to do. The passport was already in a list of refused passports, and it was going to be sent back to me as a refusal. And so I just sat down in the atrium, and I was going to call this man. And I called the passport office, this whatever agency, and he was not there. And I just left a message, and I was going to drive home thinking, what am I going to do now? I didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, the man behind the counter in this huge empty room, he said, there he is. And I looked up, and this man was walking in with a baseball cap, and he was walking towards the counter. And I was very excited to see this person. So I ran up and I said, hi, are you? And he goes, yeah, I am. Hang on. I need to come here. I'm here to meet somebody. And I didn't really know what to think. And he went up to the counter, and I stood behind him waiting to talk to him. And he said, I'm here to see so-and-so. This is their phone number. Are they here? And he says, no one is here. And he turned to me and he said, can I help you? And I explained everything to him. And he said, well, are you so-and-so from this particular number? And I said, no, I'm not, but I need to talk to you. This is what's happened, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And he's like, oh, that sounds pretty intense. Let me go upstairs and see what I can do. So he goes upstairs and comes back down, and he has in his hand my passport. And he says, this was at the bottom of a refusal list that would have been stamped as not able to apply again in 10 years. It was ready to be mailed out. You are so lucky. And he goes, are you this person and this phone number? And I said, no. And he said, I don't understand. I was here to meet somebody by this. There's no one in this room. And he said, do you know that this phone number? And the number was actually from Georgia, which was my mother's prefix on it. Anyway, it had her area code on it, but I wasn't even thinking about that. He said, I'll take this out. We'll reapply. We'll get you a 24-hour turnaround on this. It'll cost you like $100, but I can't tell you how lucky you are that we found this. And the passport was turned around, and we got it within 24 hours. I was able to make the move, and it was a magnificent miracle, really. It was a miracle, and I'll never forget that, never forget that. And I'm thinking, how did that happen? How on earth did something that looked so horrible and so scary and so awful turn around like that? And I believe it was the intent and absolute dedication. But remember, I wasn't focusing at that time. I was just kind of hoping for the best, but I had the intent to move, and there was no other option. But this miracle took place. So anyway, I was going to share that with you. I believe all of this has something to do. It's not just happenstance. It's not just coincidence. There's more to it than that. So anyway, I was going to share that with you because these little things in my life, I'm like, oh, okay, that has to do with intent and will and purpose and focus. But what happens if we use this where we're actually paying more attention to it and using it purposefully? So anyway, when we go into a state of need, that's the thing, is a lot of people go, I need to have this, I need to have that. I'm going to wish for this, I'm going to wish for this. What is it when you are in a state of need? Because when we're trying to manifest something in our lives, be it a relationship, a passport, anything like that, you're in a state of lack. When you need a drink of water, say you need a drink of water, what does that mean about water? It means you don't have it, right? Hang on. I love tonic water. I drink it all the time. So need simply means that you want something that you don't have. So needing, wanting, jonesing, as we say in California, or pining, longing, all of those feelings, worrying about making sure that you absolutely have to have it because it's not here. All of that is stating the fact that it isn't currently there. Now, this is where it gets strange to some, and it will seem strange. It will feel like you are making this all up. And I want you to go with that. I want you to go with that. We don't use the imagination anywhere near as much as we should. The imagination is part of our inner consciousness. It is a creative force that we must learn to use for our better good and for the good of all beings on our planet. So how do we do this? I'm going to paraphrase some. We will get into Atkinson's book. If you'd like to get a copy of the book, it is down below. This is, again, really quick before we talk about need and want. This is a natural force. It's neither good nor bad. It can be used for both, okay? And it's used by anybody who knows how to use it. It's like electricity, and he talks about explosives. Anybody can use those, right? And what are you using it for? Are you using it to go on the dark web? Or are you using it to, I don't know, raise funds for veganism? You can use it for anything. So how do you use the internet? Do you use it for good? Are you on Pornhub? Whatever you want to use it for, it's there. It's the same thing, okay? This law is the same thing. Let us use it for good. So when you're in a state of want or need, it's not going to work like that. You have to go inside and you have to not only change your thoughts, okay? You can write all the affirmations down, you can visualize, but until you change the most essential part of that, which is the state of your being, okay? It isn't just what you say. It isn't just what you tell yourself. It's you. You change you, everything around you will change. Other people around you will change. There are also other realities that we have access to, an endless supply of realities. Infinity is big. A lot of people think, oh, well, you know, it's just this one line. It goes off into somewhere up there and it's infinity. But it's infinity. Anything and everything is possible. It's possible and it's very doable and everybody can do this. And although the instructions are simple, getting into the headset can be difficult. So I want you to think of what it is that you're wanting to do. What is it that you want? All right. Be very clear about that. Be certain about that. Know what it is. And then also know where your thoughts are right now. A majority of people will be in, oh, I can't have it because of this. I can't have it because of that. I can't have it because it's so stupid. I'm not going to, all that, dismiss that. Set that aside, all right? We're going to get out of the need and we're not going to worry about the how, okay? This is the most important part. You are a very powerful being. You are. So I want you to know you're the God of your reality. This consciousness that created all that is within you as well. You have the ability to tap into this. All of the avatars have told you this. You have the ability to tap into this and do all that they've done and then some. Let's start doing that, okay? So don't worry about the how. That's imperative. Most of us get stuck in the middle there. We're like, oh, well, that can't happen because this. Stop it. Just know that it is. And it's not faith, okay? It's not belief, it's knowing. And that is a gigantic step for a lot of us because we're taught that it must be, dreadful, dreary, hard work and luck and all that. Forget about that. Forget about that and go into the knowing. And that means you change you. So when the doubts are there and they'll pop up, that means you need to realign a little bit more. You've got to go ahead and get into that space where you absolutely know without doubt, without any doubt, and with absolute certainty. Put yourself in the end, as they say, live from the end or see the end result, looking back at it. You're going to get into that space and you're going to be whoever it is. For example, if it's a job, let's think it's a job, okay? Or a relationship. Get into the end. What's the end result that you want? You want to be married. You want to have this income. You want to be able to look at your bank account balance and see these zeros in there. I want you to be in that space. And don't be looking at your bank account balance and thinking, well, you know, I see this now and that is, oh, well, how is that going to happen? Where is it going to come from? Don't worry about the how. You're not going to worry about the how. I want you to get into, like, for example, I've got written up on my list right here. I literally have how much I make per year. And it's a much larger amount than I actually make right now, but that doesn't matter because I've got it in front of me and it says I make that amount. Now, I've written down things on that to-do list before, and I just put it up there and they come to fruition. Write it down, and be in that state of what it would be like. Allow yourself to play it out a little bit. Think of what it would feel like after that has already taken place, a year after, 2 years after, 3 years after. You can even say, I remember when. Some of the teachers say, go back to, I remember when I didn't have blah, blah, blah. Now I do. And this is how I feel. Go into those feelings and feel them as though they are real, because they are real if you create them to be real. You have the ability to do this. So don't worry about the how, because that's not important. It's not. It will take place. I am telling you without doubt that I have experienced this particular law in effect. I've shared some of the stories with you. I have also heard many success stories of others who have used this, and we can use this to improve our lives. Another thing that gets people upset is the circumstances or the situation at hand. Well, so-and-so's doing this, or I can't do this because this is limiting me and there's really bad things going on. And I want to tell you all the details of what's happening in these circumstances. And it's just a certain thing that is so much worse than everybody else's. And that's why I can't. It doesn't matter. Whatever is taking place right now, however the situation looks, it does not matter. Because where did you start when you started this manifestation? Where were the circumstances then? Weren't they all over the place and everything was all in upheaval and you began? Well, they didn't matter then. Why should they matter now? They don't matter. And if you get caught up in them, you've got to realign. You've got to feel inside yourself. You've got to become this final outcome. You must become it. You can change your thoughts, you can change your emotions, but until it actually becomes you, nothing's going to change. So as we begin your journey with whatever it is that you want to bring into being, manifest, create in your life, know that you have the ability to. It may feel as though you are just playing with imagination and it's all make-believe. And if you need to start there, that's fine. Focus on that and play with that make-believe. Feel those feelings. And the very best thing is you will start to change. You will start to change. You're no longer worrying about what you don't have. You're not in a state of lack. So you're not feeling the, oh, woe is me. You're actually in a place of joy and happiness because you're feeling this outcome take place. You're in that state. You will find confidence come in, a confidence like you never knew before. And it will be there and it will help you. And as you lift, other things lift around you, situations, people, problems, they will lift. You will change by you doing this little exercise. It's very real. It's very possible. So now I want you to think about what you want, have absolute certainty. Forget the words belief and faith. Forget them. Go into knowing. And then I want you to feel what it would feel like. I want you to feel and experience and live it. Do you know that your imagination, when you imagine something or when you have a dream, and you experience all that whether you're being chased by something or you're falling or something, the effect on your body and your brain is the exact same as if it was happening in real life. Your mind has capabilities far beyond what any of us ever really knew. But when we go ahead and study this and apply it and become it, we will find things coming into our lives that we've always wanted. And instead of believing we can't have it, you can have it. Know it, live it, have certainty, without doubt. And remember, stop complaining. Just stop repeating if you can. There's so much power in your words. Stop saying things like, the problem is, well, I would do this, but the problem is da, 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 da. Please stop. If you stop that, you will see a change. You will see more positivity flow into your life. But you don't have to be ridiculously happy all the time. All right, you're going to have ups and downs. That's completely normal. Don't worry about the how. And I want you to know that by changing your thoughts and your emotions, you have the ability to create anything and everything you wish in your world. And once you have, let us use this for good, for the good of all. We can even work together in doing this. Can you imagine if we put our heads together instead of remaining separate and against each other and always competing with each other, if we actually got to work to make this world a better place and to leave it better than when we got here. The book is called The Secret of Mental Magic. This is what The Secret, the movie The Secret, is about, this ancient law. And it has been used by many throughout the millennia, okay? And it can be used by you for whatever it is that you wish, be it a relationship, be it a job, be it a yacht, be it a health situation, whatever it is that you wish. If you put your mind to it with intent, will, purpose, and certainty, it can and will come to fruition. It is all up to you. So instead of being blown about on the water, you're going to take the wheel back and you're going to drive the boat. Anything is possible. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. We appreciate you. If you would please like, subscribe, and share. It helps the algorithm to reach more people. We love you.